My name is Alfredo Malagon. I came to the United States May 11th, 1980. I grew up in Cuba, and the way that I got here was through the Mariel boat lift. This boat in front of me, it's an actual builder's replica of the boat that I came here on. This is a boat that was first designed for the owner of the boat so that he would make whatever adjustments and color schemes or anything like that before the actual boat was built. The name of the boat is Captain Cracker. It's from the Cracker Fleet Company, and that was the shrimp company that was in Key West at the time of the Mariel boat lift. That was, and this boat was used actually for the lift itself. In 1980, in May 1980, my grandmother on my dad's side hired the captain, James Griffin, to go to Mariel Harbor to pick us up as a family and make the trip from Cuba to Key West. It took a little bit longer than when they had anticipated. The boat actually sat in the harbor for over 30 days. It was supposed to be a quick in and out. It didn't turn out that way. Just one of those things. My mother, my dad, and myself were the ones that were allowed to come. But there were actually over 150 people that made the trip on this boat, tied up to ropes and tied up to some of the nets. We were fortunate enough, since my grandmother had paid for us to actually travel, we were fortunate enough to stay inside the galley, which is this area here. And that's pretty much where I made the whole entire trip. It's like 14 to 16 hours that I can remember. We spent some time in this trip where food wasn't really something that you were getting on a regular basis. So one of the funniest things was the fact that when we got into the galley, which is basically the kitchen of the boat, they had a pantry full of Vienna sausages. And I ate 14 cans of Vienna. I ate 14 cans of Vienna sausages on this trip here, which that in itself is a feat. I've always felt that I had a need to look for the boat, and I still to this day can't tell you exactly, pinpoint exactly why. Throughout 9 years, I went through every single resource available that I can get my hands on. I went through the Coast Guard, I went through Marine Patrol, I went everywhere that I can possibly go. I knew the name of the boat, but I wasn't sure if it was Captain Cracker spelled out or if it was just abbreviated Captain. And I really didn't have a whole lot of information except the name of the boat. Throughout my searches, I was contacted by someone from the Coast Guard that forwarded me information regarding the numbers for the boat. I got the numbers for the boat, and with the numbers of the boat, I was able to find the owners or the company that owned the boat, which is Cracker Fleet Company, Cracker Shrimp Company. And I started then going through their tax records, which is all public records, and trying to find out who the owners were. But at one point or another, the search would just basically end. I just couldn't go any further. There was always something in the way. It was the strangest. It was just strange, you know. There was a whole bunch of filings, and then the filings would stop as if the company was sold, and that's it. I had nowhere else to go. A few years ago, and I'd say about 2 years ago, I was going through my searches again. I've gone through the same exact thing over and over and over and over again. And I've never actually noticed one phone number written in hand. I mean, it was just written by hand on the bottom of one of the sheets. It wasn't the guy's number. It wasn't really what I was looking for, but in the very least, it actually gave me an area code to start searching. By that time, I knew that the owners of the company, I knew their name. The guy's name was James Griffin. But I had no idea where he was. I mean, there's a gazillion James Griffins. But now with this area code, I knew it was James Griffin from Brandon, Florida, which is where he still resides now. I picked up the phone, I called him, and he said, you know, my name is Alfredo Malagon. You don't know me, but if you are James, you know, do you have anything to do with a company called Cracker Fleet Company, Cracker Shrimp Company? And he said, who is this? And I said, do you remember a boat called Captain Cracker? And again, he said, who is this? By the second time he said, who is this? I was sure that I had the right guy, because somebody else would have blown me off a long time ago. So instead, so I told him, I said, look, if you are who I think you are, my name is Alfredo Malagon. I am a Mariel boatlift guy. And when I was 10 years old, you brought me here from Cuba. The next words out of him were, how the hell did you find me? So I went through the whole story with him and explained to him everything that I'd done. We decided to meet, and I went up there with my family to Brandon, Florida. I had asked him for pictures because I really had nothing. And since my mom passed away, I really had nothing. Nobody to talk about. My dad and I, we talk, but we really don't talk much about this, you know? So I asked him for pictures, and when I met him at the hotel where I was staying at, he showed up with this. And this is an exact scale model. This is the boat that I came on was built after. I look at it, and it's almost like being there again. I can see the kitchen. I can see the galley where we were. I can see my parents, you know, how we used to be. I can smell the sea air. It's almost like just being there again. Doesn't happen all the time. It's just one of those things. Sometimes it just hits you, you know. I talk about this at times, and the whole entire trip just becomes real again.